like to welcome Eric Muller. He is our fan engineering manager to the stage. Eric, thank you guys.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming today. My name is Eric Muller. I am the fan engineering manager here at Q-PAC. I've been here 5.5, coming up on 6 years. I originally came to the team to help with order processing, so whenever an order for our fan array at the time came in, I would help design it in SolidWorks, do all the drawings, stuff like that. There's a few members of the team who, that was our full-time job at one point. We automated out of a lot of that work, and that opened us up to continuing to develop the product. So more time for development and just looking into the future. So now I lead a team where that's basically all we do. We automate and we develop for the future. All right, so our team, we call ourselves the Fan Kings. We've got three primary areas of responsibility. So the structures of the product, the performance of the product, and programming. So for the structures, this is all the 3D design, the physical prototyping, the location of every screw, every hole, the panel widths, basically everything about how the product configures, we're responsible for. So it's really important that our team is really knowledgeable on how it all scales. As for the performance, this is all the performance calculations, as well as all the testing that we're going to be doing in our new airflow tunnel. And then for programming, you might have seen this word before. So programming is the term that Q-PAC created. It describes how the product engineers write the code that actually configures the product in the background. So we have our selection software Quips. Many of you have used it. When you put in your requirements for the fan that you need, all the logic that's actually running in the background, all that software was written by the mechanical engineers that are on the fan team or other teams. We do have an actual software engineering team, and they're the ones that developed an environment that enables us mechanical engineers to actually write code. So we believe that those who are closest to the product should be the ones responsible for updating and maintaining that code base. So next up is some active objectives that the team is working on. But first I want to touch on discovery and delivery. So discovery and delivery are phases of projects. This is how we work at Q-PAC. So if a project is in discovery, that means we're simply answering questions. We're seeing if something is worth doing. We haven't committed to a timeline, a due date, or milestones. Once we have answered enough questions and we know what the future of that project looks like, we move it into delivery. So that's when we set a due date. That's when we commit to actually delivering something. So from the projects that I'll be talking about and what's on screen, there's a mix of things that are in delivery and discovery. So first up, being more cost effective. Our product is unique in the way that we have a fan controller that orchestrates multiple motors, right? A lot of the motors that we buy have a lot of features and technology that we don't actually leverage. If we had a magic wand, we would want the motor to be a little more simple, a little more cost effective. So what features of that motor could we move into our fan controller to make the product more cost effective overall? That's kind of what we're thinking. We're also experimenting with the option to ship fans fully assembled. There's an example of a crated Q-PAC fan over there in the corner. If you're in a factory or an OEM setting and you have access to rigging equipment and cranes, it's going to be easy for you just to pick and place the fan into the air handler like you do with every other fan technology. For simple servicing, what if the motorized impeller, so just the motor and the impeller, not the full plug fan, what if the motorized impeller was the part that you replaced instead of the whole plug fan when something goes wrong? You're reducing the weight and the waste of that replaceable component. This also gives us more control over the mounting and the interchangeability of different motors. So if you want to upgrade in the future and it's got a slightly different bolt pattern on that motor interface, we could handle that complexity and it would still slot in. Lastly, we want to continue to be compliant and certified. So last year we got the new UL certification for our product, UL 60335. This year we became official AMCA members, which is huge. And this year and next year we're going to continue to try to be AMCA certified on our performance. So we're working closely with AMCA for that, and we're excited for that future. And then lastly is the seismic certification. So just a couple weeks ago, we were in Reno, Nevada at an earthquake laboratory at the University of Nevada. And we put our product on a huge shake table, and they shook it, and we did some earthquake testing for like places in the United States where you have to have a certain certification to install into. So Stay tuned for AHR this year to see the results of that testing. It's exciting. So thinking about ahead, what are we doing next? Well, obviously we're going to continue to do more testing. We're going to continue to develop motor and impeller expertise. So as our team matures and as our team grows, we want to be really specific about what impellers and which motors we actually put into our product. And then also, we want to continue the programming. We want to make sure that we're developing better software tools, not only the ones on Quips, our selection software, but also tools that we use internally for comparison and analysis. So at the end of the day, what keeps our team going? Well, we know that if we land the dominant design of the Multimotor Plenum fan, it's going to change our flow forever. We have aspirations to have our product in every commercial air handler in the nation. So it's a big ask and it's a big task, and we have a lot of work to do, but our team's actively working on it, and we'll get there one day.